Okay, let's dive in. We're tackling a topic today that definitely inspires a lot of anxiety, but also a lot of opportunity, especially if you're in finance, accounting, or investments.
Hmm.
But we're going to start by just, throwing out the usual question people ask because I think it gets the whole problem wrong.
Right. Most people are still asking, will AI take my finance job?
Hmm.
As if it's some future event we need to predict.
Exactly. But the disruption isn't coming. It's already here. It's the environment we're operating in.
The shift has already happened.
So the real question, and this is the one we're putting to you, is much more practical. It's what kind of finance professional is still going to be valuable in a world where AI is already doing the heavy lifting and
Yeah.
doing it faster, cheaper, and without ever getting tired?
Our goal today is really just to cut through the noise, the viral panic, and give some clarity based on what's happening right now.
And the uncomfortable truth is that AI is not some new thing knocking on the door of finance.
Oh, not at all. It's already part of the foundation.
Just think about the functions that are already automated. We're talking approving complex loans, generating sophisticated financial reports.
They're not just simple summaries. I mean, comprehensive narratives.
Right. And detecting fraud in real time, automating huge parts of compliance, risk modeling, even traditional accounting.
The whole industry is transforming as we speak. So I think the first thing we have to grasp is what makes finance so uniquely vulnerable to this. We call it the vulnerability paradox.
A paradox. That sounds like a contradiction. I mean, finance is built on things like rigor, precision, intelligence. Aren't those strengths? Shouldn't they protect it?
They're strengths, absolutely, and they're why the system works. But if you look at the structure of finance, you see that it's just inherently data-heavy, rule-driven, logic-based.
Predictive and repetitive at a massive scale.
You've just described the perfect use case for a machine learning model.
It's the feature list.
Precisely. So if your entire professional value is inside that box applying rules with precision, then you are operating in probably the most exposed part of the entire economy. AI is the ultimate optimization engine.
We're not talking about small improvements here, are we?
Not at all. We're talking about systems that can analyze a bank's whole loan portfolio in the time it takes a human analyst to process one single transaction.
Okay, can you give us a really concrete example of that? What does it actually look like when a machine takes over those precise rules?
Sure. Let's take risk calculation. A few years ago, at a big investment bank, your job might have been to calculate, say, complex risk weights based on Basel III regulations.
Right, which involves tons of data and very specific fixed formulas.
Exactly. A human doing that is expensive, they're relatively slow, and they're, prone to error. The machine does it perfectly, instantly, and it tracks data changes in real time.
So the person who spent years mastering that one specific calculation
Suddenly becomes irrelevant to that part of the process. Their precision, the very skill they were hired for, is what made them so easy to replace with better automation.
that is a terrifying feedback loop. The more logical and rule-based the system is, the less valuable the human operator becomes. And the speed must just be squeezing everything.
It is. The efficiency jump is so huge, it's basically eroding the value of time itself. Loan approvals that took weeks. We're talking minutes now, sometimes seconds.
And fraud detection, that used to be a cleanup job, right? Looking at logs after the fact.
Now it's real time. It blocks the transaction as it happens. Even in corporate finance, you see things like accounting reconciliation. That used to be teams of junior analysts pulling all-nighters.
Now it's just done overnight by an automated system.
And this is where you hear terms like reg tech.
Regulatory technology.
Right. These are platforms designed to automate compliance monitoring. RegTech is basically swallowing entire compliance departments by constantly scanning for every new global rule and applying it across the whole firm instantly.
So the pressure is just immense, and it's not just coming from one direction.
Exactly. The lower and middle layers are getting squeezed from two sides. From below by this pure automation of tasks, and from above by senior leaders who are using AI outputs to make their strategic calls.
So if you're stuck in the middle, just managing a process or aggregating data.
It's a very, very uncomfortable place to be.
So if AI isn't just replacing everyone, but it's creating this division, we need to be really clear about the definitions. So you, the listener, can figure out where you stand. How do we break down this new landscape?
We're seeing the profession split into three very distinct categories. And you need to be really honest with yourself about which group you're in or which one you're aiming for.
Okay, let's start with category 1, the replaceable. What does that actually look like?
These are the professionals whose role is built almost entirely on repetition, on fixed rules, predictable processes, and this is key, very low client interaction.
So if your job can be boiled down to inputs, formulas, compliance checks, and standard outputs,
Then a piece of software is going to do it more efficiently. It's just a matter of time.
can we anchor that with a few specific job functions?
Sure. Think about jobs focused on just initial data entry, processing thousands of standardized invoices, very basic treasury operations, or simple balance sheet reconciliation. The value there is purely accuracy and speed.
Metrics where the machine has an unbeatable advantage.
Right.
And what's really significant there is that these roles have always been the training ground for new people coming into finance. If those jobs go, where does new talent learn the ropes?
That's a huge structural question for the industry. But let's move to the next group, category 2, the AI dependent. These people survive that first wave, but they're still in a fragile position.
Okay, so they're faster than before because they're using the new tools. Where's the fragility?
The fragility is that they are operators, not strategists. Their value comes from the platform. They can run a model, put in the data, get a forecast, but they don't really understand the system underneath it or the model's limitations.
So they're kind of like skilled button pushers.
A bit, yeah. So when that tool changes or the platform they use gets replaced by a more advanced AI, their value just collapses instantly. Their security was tied to a specific piece of software, not their own independent judgment.
That makes the distinction really clear. The replaceable, their task is automated. The dependent, their tool is automated. Which brings us to the goal. Category 3, the AI leveraged, the indispensable ones.
This is the group that has long-term security. They understand the technology deeply, but they're not dependent on it. They don't just use the AI. They leverage it to amplify their uniquely human skills.
And what defines those indispensable skills?
They're the ones who add judgment where a machine can't. They navigate the ethical gray areas where an algorithm has no conscience. They build trust where code can't form a relationship. They are the interpreters, the strategists, the ethical guides.
So they're sitting right at that critical intersection of technology and human strategy.
That's it. They're at the intersection of regulation, complex risk, and real human decision-making.
Look, AI doesn't destroy value in finance. It relocates it. It moves value away from calculation and towards interpretation.
And relationship building. Which brings us to the one thing AI fundamentally cannot generate on its own. Trust. That's the real human currency for the future of finance.
The ultimate non-replaceable asset.
It is. Think about it. A machine can analyze all the data points, check every box, and prove a mortgage in minutes. It has the perfect, logical answer. But it absolutely cannot reassure a nervous first-time homebuyer who is making the biggest financial decision of their life.
That person needs to look you in the eye and ask, is this safe? Should I really be doing this? And a machine it can't handle that moment.
And it's not just personal finance. Think about a CEO planning a multi-billion-dollar acquisition. The AI can model 1,000 scenarios and give you the optimal price. But that CEO needs a trusted CFO to walk into the boardroom and say, with real conviction, this is the right move for the company, and here's why, and here's how we handle the risks.
And this must extend into crisis moments, too, when emotion and complexity just overwhelm the data.
Absolutely. A system can flag suspicious transactions, sure, but it cannot navigate the emotional and legal nightmare of a client's messy divorce or a family dealing with a death and the transfer of wealth. Those moments require judgment and empathy, not just computation.
Which leads directly to accountability, the accountability gap.
Yeah.
Because even when the system gives the recommendation, the responsibility that stays with the person.
The law is crystal clear on this. Courts do not prosecute software. They prosecute people.
Right. And boards don't fire algorithms when a strategy goes south. They fire executives. When things go wrong at scale, a biased lending model, a huge trading law society blames the professionals, not the code.
So that ethical and legal liability creates a ceiling. It guarantees that a human has to be working above the system to validate it, to check it, and to ultimately sign off on it.
And if you want to get into that category, you have to shift your focus from transactional value-like speed and accuracy to strategic value.
That's the whole game.
Okay, let's talk about that strategic shift. If the answer isn't just learn to code or learn the new tool, which, as we said, can make you fragile, what is the mindset change that a finance professional needs right now?
The big mistake is thinking that mastering the technology is the end goal. It's not. Using tools without critical thinking actually makes you more vulnerable. The safest people will be the ones who develop a healthy professional skepticism of what the AI tells them.
What does that skepticism look like in practice? How do you question the machine?
It means you shift from being an executor to being a validator. Your job isn't to check the machine's math, it's to validate its assumptions.
Ah.
If a model tells you to divest $1 billion from an asset, you don't just hit execute. You ask, what assumptions did this model make about inflation that I, with my strategic foresight, think are wrong?
So you're becoming fluent in something called explainable AI, or XAI. You have to understand why the machine made a choice, not just what the choice was.
So you can explain it to a client who is naturally going to distrust a black box they can't understand. You become the translator, the ethical guide, the final backstop.
And this is where those skills that can't be automated really come to the forefront. Strategy, judgment, ethics, leadership.
These are what will secure your career long term. You can't automate strategy because that requires imagining a future the data hasn't seen yet. You can't standardize judgment. And you absolutely cannot program leadership.
We're seeing this new type of financial leader emerge, aren't we? Someone who can manage a team where, half the team members are algorithms.
That's right. The value now is in setting the culture, defining the ethical guardrails, and guiding the firm. The person who can lead a team that includes the world's most powerful optimization engine is exponentially more valuable than the person who just feeds it data.
So the core division is becoming incredibly clear. If your professional identity is just about being fast and accurate, AI is a direct threat. But if your identity is tied to being trusted, strategic, and skeptical,
Then AI becomes your most powerful tool. The future of finance won't be divided between humans and machines. It'll be divided between professionals who work beneath the machines, running the reports, taking orders, and professionals who work above them.
setting the direction, questioning the outputs, and taking final responsibility.
Mm.
And this deep dive, it really applies to anyone listening, whether you're in banking, accounting, insurance, mortgages, fintech, wherever. The choices you make right now are what will position you in this new landscape.
And the worst possible position to be in over the next decade is to be technically skilled, but strategically irrelevant. You know how to run the software, but you've outsourced the why to the code.
And the strongest position, to be technologically fluent, yes, but humanly indispensable.
AI isn't going to take the entire profession of finance away, but it is taking away complacency. It's taking away comfort. It is absolutely shattering the illusion that just having the qualifications guarantees your security.
It forces you to accept that the market doesn't reward raw efficiency the way it used to. It now rewards judgment and trust above all else.
Which brings us to that final, unavoidable question that every single person in this field has to answer for themselves. And the stakes are, frankly, existential.
The question is, what value do I add that cannot be automated?
That's the question your entire future depends on.